Hi Dreadlings, and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is V, aka Dread, and today I actually put in considerable effort, as this is the definitive perfume video. And I've been wanting to do it for a while because perfume is one of my particular favorite areas as far as like beauty goes. The other one obviously being makeup. And I wanted to kind of just like make a definitive video about like what I'm looking for in a perfume and going over what I own, and potentially maybe down the line talking about perfumes that I want to buy. But that's not, like, buying stuff isn't the focus of this here. So if you are interested in any of that, then keep on watching. So obviously the first part of like talking about perfumes is just kind of showing like what I consider like my benchmark perfumes, like kind of what I compare other perfumes that I want to buy to. And I have three kind of benchmark perfumes that I own and that I really hold in very high regard. And so we're going to start with my benchmarks. And my first benchmark perfume is Versace's Crystal Noir. This is definitely like my number one. It's the top three essentially. So this is number one. This is like just a very beautiful perfume. It's hard to describe because this has more the mystery of like a really beautiful like person that you spot from the other side of the room, and they have that more like mystery and like that seductive quality rather than curiosity, like more like it's more like seductive and mysterious rather than just like mysterious and has you questioning reality. So the top notes for this are black currant, black fig, and violet. The mid notes are tuberose. I don't know how to pronounce it. It looks like it says fragapani, fragapini. I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce that. And jasmine. And then the base notes are sandalwood, cashmere, vanilla pod, and heliotropine. Is it heliotropine? Again, I can't pronounce it. And this is number one for me because I do like floral scents. I like the floral scent's good, but it doesn't give like the cheap floral scents. It doesn't smell powdery. And I think this just really, it does get better the longer that you have it on, as it kind of fades away to just those base notes. And that's one of those qualities that kind of leads to that like seductive mystery, because you're kind of probably immediately drawn to like the top notes, but you're getting more drawn in as you get to those base notes. At least that's how I feel when I like wear it. And I really enjoy just kind of like the visual of like low light in a more intimate setting, and like you're smelling like, so it's like you're smelling the other person, and it's just like as the night goes on and things might maybe get a little more intimate, you're getting closer to those base notes. It just creates this really lovely like mental image for me, and that's kind of how I navigate a lot of stuff in my life, is the visual imagery of the sort of feeling I'm trying to capture. The number 2 in my benchmark perfumes is from Siren Song Elixirs, and this is like the 5 milliliter sample size of their perfumes, and this is from the Age of Dragons collection, or the Dragon Age collection, and this is the scent Lion of Ferelden. This was, I remember when I first bought this. This is my second little bottle of this. I completely used up one. I remember when I got this, because these are based off characters, all I could imagine was being kind of wrapped up in Cullen's like fur cape that he has with his armor, and it's smelling just like him. And it creates this visual imagery of kind of like standing over the war table, kind of frustrated and trying to plan things out in Inquisition. And then in a more intimate moment, he comes in and like you fell asleep at the war table, and he just comes in and he kind of detaches like his cape and he drapes it over you. It's yeah, it's one of those perfumes for me. So this has just more of a visual image context in the games that I kind of latch on to, but it's still like my number 2. And the scent notes for this one, they aren't broken down into the like top, mid, base. So it's just like what scents that they use to mix it. So we have elderflower, oak moss, sandalwood, amber, milk, caramel, and honey. And I feel like because it has like the caramel and honey, I was wary because I was like, it might smell too sweet. It doesn't come off that way whatsoever. It's hard to describe it. And let me see if I can. It just smells like outside. Like it just smells like it smells like outside. And it's like, it's not overbearing. It's honestly like, you could only really smell this when you're like up close and personal. And typically, I think a lot of perfume oils tend to do that. They're meant more for, well, for me, I've always worn perfume oils more as like when you're going to be like very close with someone. Hello? Sorry, there's a kitty who is making biscuits. She's very insistent. But this is very much meant for those more intimate one-on-one moments. Like, you're not gonna smell this on a person as they like walk into a room, but if you're like, once you get closer to that person, you'll smell it, and that's very attractive for me, even though like I'm only gonna be getting like close with like people that I know. I don't want just strangers approaching me. And this is just a comfort scent for me because I bought the scent originally in a very dark time of my life, and it helped me. I would put this on like my pillowcase or something and like have that scent help me like sleep so I could feel that someone was there with me. So this got me through tough times, and it's just a really good scent. And I do have several more Siren Song Elixir products that I'll talk about after this benchmark section. But yeah, this is definitely my number 2. My number 3 benchmark, which captures that other end of the spectrum of mystery, is the Rag and Bone perfume in Oddity. Now, I only have like one wear left in this, and I can't bring myself to use it up because I can't get a full-size bottle because it's sold out. I know I want a full-size bottle of this. This scent very much gives creature in the woods, creature in the fog. Like, you think you see something, but when you go to look again, it's gone. It also kind of gives old church vibes. It was one of my favorites to wear. Honestly, like, I wore it to work a lot when like work was really rough and I was having a hard time making it through my shift. I use perfumes a lot to work through bad days because otherwise I simply would not go. Oh, it's not. I accidentally butchered this, so it's just all the scent notes. I accidentally butchered it because I wasn't reading the scent notes too closely. So the notes that are in the perfume overall are Sichuan black pepper, leather, incense, vetiver, amber, cardamom, angelica root, licorice, and vanilla bean. Now, I can tell you from like how often I wear it, you really smell the incense and the licorice on this. And I think that's what gives it that really like creature of the fog kind of thing. And it was one of my favorite things. Now that we're done with the benchmark perfumes, I'm just going to go through kind of in order of how I wrote the rest of my notes and talk about, just kind of go over the perfumes that like I have right now. We're going to start with this, which is the Ed Hardy For Women. This is the Fine Fragrance Mist. The top notes for this are mango, grapefruit, wild strawberry, and apple. The mid notes are freesia, lime blossoms, and lily of the valley. And the base notes are amber, vanilla, musk, and tonka bean. I do have a history with this perfume. When I was younger, it was the only perfume that I ever bought outside of this cheap Jour de Chez perfume that I got at Dollar Tree. And then Axe's Anarchy for Her. Don't ever ask me why I ever wore that in a day of my life. That shit was so bad. But this was one of my favorite perfumes growing up. And when I saw this, I wondered if it was still, if it was something I was still enjoying. I do. It's really good. I use this because it's a less concentrated thing. I use this to layer with other perfumes. And this smells sweet in the way that fruits do and not like desserts, because that's where my problem typically lies with perfumes, is I want to smell sweet like fruit, not sweet like dessert. I don't like smelling like food. I think my only exceptions is like I like sweet fruit smells. I do like chocolate scents. But other than that, I'm really not a big fan of like the perfumes that make you smell like desserts. I think they're like gourmands. I don't know. I just don't like smelling like dessert. The next one is Heretic Parfums Nosferatu, which I recently got from Scentbird. This is creeping up to be one of the benchmarks. So it might be like top 4 benchmark. Not sure yet. I'm still getting acquainted with this. The scent notes are as follows, with the top notes being lilac and ambrette. Mid notes petrichor, violet, iris, and nagarmotha. I think that's what that is. And base notes of ambergris, oud, and laburnum. Again, I'm butchering these pronunciations. I'm sorry. But the scent note that really gets me with this is the petrichor, or the damp earth kind of scent. I absolutely adore that. And it's This really kind of invokes the feeling of like decay, but in a sense of like wilted flowers and wood that's just starting to rot, and like because of like moisture exposure, because like it's raining, so this like has that wet earth kind of scent, and I enjoy that kind of like imagery. I pair this with that Ed Hardy perfume. I have done that, and I do like that combination, but I do think I prefer this a little more on its own versus being layered. But this is very quickly becoming a favorite of mine. Next, we have another one from Scentbird, and this is the Confessions of a Rebel Fruit Fetish perfume. I had to pull the scent notes off of the Confession of a Rebel's website because I couldn't find it listed anywhere else, and I lost the scent cards from Scentbird. So the notes are wild strawberry, ripe tomato, pomegranate, pink peony, and vanilla cashmere. This, it smells sweet, but in like that fruit sense, and like and I don't think, because it only has the one flower and it has the pink peony, it has a slight floral to it, but it's not too much. And like the secret, like in the ripe tomato, honestly, that does come through too, and I do like the smell of that. This, I have also layered with that Ed Hardy perfume, and I do like that combination together. I do pair them together because I don't know. Sometimes I just like layering things, and I like to layer those two together. It doesn't create a particular image for me, which is why I still want to kind of familiarize myself with it. Because I typically, if I can create kind of a visual in my mind of how that makes me feel, I tend to like it more than just things that I'm like, well, I like it, but there's not really a particular, like, memorable reason for me. Next is a newer addition to my collection, and this is from the brand Sniff, and this is their Me perfume. My lovely friend, Mish, suggested the brand to me, and they're sending me a perfume from them in the near future. And I kind of wanted to get more acquainted with like the brand, and this was one of the scents that initially intrigued me. The top notes are peach and plum. The mid notes are orris and caramel, and the base notes are musk, sandalwood, moss, and oronox. So I have worn this once, and I'm still a bit undecided because it doesn't smell how I expect it to. Because to me, like what it feels like is when like I smell it, I'm only smelling the base notes. I'm not smelling anything else. And it's a bit off-putting. It's hard for me to really kind of like want to reach to use this because of that. But I feel like I might be like, and I don't have it rotated in right now because I just don't think winter's the right season for this kind of scent. You know, I typically don't care for like seasons. It definitely just doesn't feel like a winter scent to me. And so I'm less inclined to use it. And I don't want to say this is like a regret, but it's certainly one of those maybe not the best first choice. But I do want to get more acquainted with this. Next is this little Sand and Fog Vanilla Musk perfume oil. This one, I like this one, but this very much is part of that. It almost smells like a dessert sweet. And it stops me from wearing it because I'm like, I don't want to smell like a dessert. Woo! It's very tiny and I can drop it. So the scent notes are as follows. The top notes are sugar, coconut, and anise. Mid notes is vanilla and vanilla orchid. And the base notes is vanilla, musk, and amber. There's a lot of vanilla going on in here. But this is right there on the edge. Like, it's right there on, like, that line of almost being dessert sweet. And it stops me from wearing this a lot because it's just like, I don't want to smell like dessert, but I also don't really enjoy vanilla scents in a sense that it's basically in almost everything. And even within my own collection, it pops up time and time again. But most of the times, like, you can't necessarily smell the vanilla right off the bat, so I don't think about it. But like, once you throw it directly in my face, yeah, that's all I smell, and it irritates me that everything has vanilla in it. But I know vanilla isn't like a sweet scent in that sense, that like it smells like a dessert, but it just happens to coincide and be a part of those things that smell like desserts. And it, oh. And the last of like the one-off, I only have one from a brand, perfumes. This is from Sensual Fragrances, and this is their perfume oil and Queen of Roses. The scent notes, starting with the top, is lychee, bergamot, and rhubarb. Mid notes of rose, peony, and vanilla, and base notes of cashmere, vetiver, and musk. So this is, like, obviously it is a kind of like rose perfume, and this is a rose perfume I can get behind only because it doesn't smell like powdery roses or like old lady perfumes. You kind of understand, everyone has their own kind of like version of what a old lady perfume smells like, but mine is very just heavily scented powdery rose, and I don't like powdery rose scents. But this one, the rose is there, but it also just has like that sweetness of like the lychee in there. And I think I haven't really worn it a whole lot. I think I've worn it like once or twice. I just don't think I think this will be better in the spring. It's not necessarily good for right now. So when spring comes around, I'll probably pull this out and see how I feel about it then. Next, this is a more new brand to me, and I only have one bottle, but I have owned two. I own two, technically. I just don't know where the first bottle is. And it is Black Rose, Occult, and Apothecary. I found out about them because they released a Love in Deep Space scent collection, which I am very much looking at getting the whole collection again. Mainly because, one, I want to try the other scents. I only bought 2 out of the 5, but it's also because I want a new bottle of one of my favorites. So I'm going to talk about the favorite one first because I don't have the bottle, but I wrote the scent notes down. So the first one is the Caleb scent. Absolutely one of my favorites. It doesn't give me much like visual imagery of being with Caleb per se, but it does give me that visual image of sitting in a garden, drinking a cup of tea, And you can kind of, and it's like a cool breeze is blowing through the leaves of all the plants outside. And it's just a very comforting kind of scent. It's very kind of nostalgic almost. And so the scent notes, starting from the top, we have ripened apples, agave, and steeped black tea. That tea scent, honestly, is the tea and the apple scent really carry it for me. And it's two of my favorite notes in the perfume. Because, again, it's just that visual of like having tea in the garden and there's a cool breeze blowing through. And like maybe you're like eating an apple, so like you have that scent of apple because like it's close by, you just took a bite out of it. Or someone's cutting up apples to make something and you can smell that way. It's just really nice. The mid notes of fresh citrus, meadows, smoked cloves, and peony. And base notes of oak trees, warm musk, and patchouli. I don't really smell, like, I know cloves aren't supposed to be like spicy. They have a different scent. But this is just a very fresh, kind of fruity floral scent. And it does bring like a sense of nostalgia. And it's just one of my favorites, admittedly. And when I bought it for a friend of mine. And their bottle came kind of half filled. Not because they didn't fill it all the way. I think their bottle broke in transit. And so I took my bottle and I kind of gave us like equals amount so that they didn't have less than I did. Because I didn't want to give them like a half open bottle. I could have just taken the one that was like leaking like halfway, but I opted to be like, well, let's get like an equal amount. So it wasn't the brand's fault and I got when I ordered the second one that I'm about to talk about, the seal was fine. So I think it was just something happened in transit. The second one that I have is the Silas scent. Can we just talk about the bottle for like a second? I love the little ombre. I love that their name is engraved on the bottle. Very, like, this is basically the only merch I have for Love in Deep Space. Well, that's a lie. I have a crow plushie that's on my purse. And then I have a badge that I got from like a blind bag. But like I don't have anything else. This is all I got. The top notes are blood orange zest and crisp air. Mid notes of cloves, paprika, rhubarb, and tobacco leaves. Well, aged tobacco leaves. And base notes of musk, rum, amber, and velvet woods. This one's very, very masculine. And it's probably one of the only like masculine scents that I really own. But I do enjoy it. This is really good. It just takes a bit of adjusting because it is so strong at first, but it does wear down into something that's just very nice. And it does really invoke that image of just a very like it just invokes the image that Silas has and that he was kind of like crafted around, especially like in the moment you meet him in the game. And it very much is reminiscent of how I would imagine that entire scene probably smelled like, or what he smelled like up close. It's just really good. Next section, these are all like deluxe like samples. I have the 3 that there are right now, and it's the Billie Eilish perfumes. So we have like Eilish number 1, number 2, and number 3. So we're gonna start with number 1. I love this little bottle. I love the design of the bottle. I know, so like this is art. This is decoration. This will be staying with me as decoration once it's empty. So we're going to go over the scent notes. So for Eilish number 1, I think it's just called Eilish. We have sugar, red berries, and mandarin orange for the top notes. Vanilla, cacao. Is that rose? I think it's rose and spice. My handwriting is atrocious. Those are the mid notes. And the base notes are tonka bean, amber, musk, and woods. This is, again, like on that line of being sweet to the point I think of desserts, but it's towing that line. Next is Eilish number 2, which is this sleek little gunmetal gray or black packaging. I really enjoy this. The scent notes, we have bergamot, apple blossom, and incense for the top notes. Black pepper, papyrus, and poppy for the mid notes. And Palo Santo, ebony, vanilla, and musk for the base notes. I really like this one. It definitely the incense and apple are carrying it for me. Definitely really enjoy this one. Oh, another kitty one. Hi, Arcusa. This is Arcadia. And then we have Eilish. Ooh, Eilish number 3. Pretend I didn't do that. This one, I don't know. I don't think I enjoy this one as much. I do like the red packaging though, but I'm not sure how I feel about the scent. The scent notes are pink pepper, grapefruit, and jasmine at the top. Fir, cedar, and saffron. This is the mid notes. The base notes are musk, amber, and oak moss. I probably need to spend some more time with this, but again, I'm not very sure about this one. This might be the only one that flops for me as far as the Eilish perfumes go, but I still like the bottle. The bottle is super cute. And the biggest section of this is all the rest of my perfumes from Siren Song Elixirs. I've been a long time customer at this point. I think they're celebrating 9 years. And they just make very lovely scents, and they have so many to choose from. They have like a master catalog and things like that, and they just have a really lovely scents. And this is the one I have the most of. I think collectively I have 7, and I've bought more. They're empty. I have a little plastic coffin that I keep like my little perfume empties in, of my little sample bottles. I think there's like 4 or 5 bottles in there. I very much adore the work that they do over at Siren Song Elixirs. The first one is Eterna Amantes, which I believe is the Ascended Astarian scent, whole one of them. And the scent notes are bergamot, brandy, sandalwood, amber, night orchid, chamomile, vanilla, frankincense, myrrh, pepper, cypress, and mahogany. This smells really good. I think I have about half the bottle left. I was using this and mixing it in with like unscented like lotion. This is really good. But again, these perfume oils very much give more close intimate spaces with people. And I just, like, this one wasn't my particular favorite, so I would mix it in with lotion to try and use it up. I still do that because it's not, like, my favorite, but it's still good. Moving on to my favorite from the Baldur's Gate collection is Daughter of Darkness, which is the Shadow Heart scent. The scent notes are black orchids, French limes, black amber, wilted peony, and French lavender. I just love this one. I mix this with the Sand and Fog Vanilla Musk to create the scent, like a kind of truly unique scent profile. Particularly for me, I do write kind of as like a pastime and for myself, and this combination is how I imagine my character smells like. This is just like one of my favorites. I wear it a lot when I go out. On the rare occasion that I'm going somewhere, I don't really leave my house all that often, but it's one of my favorites to put on if and when I do. Next is Oath of Vengeance, which is the Minthara. I don't know why I thought her name started with a V. I was struggling. Minthara scent. And the scent notes are Queen of the Night, Violet, Lily of the Valley, Peony, Jasmine, Mahogany, Amber, and Sandalwood. So this is very much a floral scent, but it does not smell like cheap florals. I like the scent of this, even though like I haven't worn it. I probably should. I like smelling it, but I never like follow through with wearing it. So one of the, I think probably March, I'll roll this in with some more floral scents to see how I get along with them. And last, for the Baldur's Gate 3 collection, and my second favorite, it's The Devil You Know for our boy Raphael. Again, this doesn't really allude that I use it, but I do use it. It's one of my favorites. And the scent notes are Palmarosa, black pepper, cinnamon musk, rosewood, amber, cherry, and salt. This just smells really good. It does in fact smell like him. But this also feels very much more like something I'd wear more in the spring as opposed to like winter. Because, you know, that's how the cookie crumbles. But I do like this scent. And I can't wait for spring to come around so I can wear it more. Next is, again, the Dragon Age collection of perfumes. There's a ton of them. And I have two more here that, like, I still have some in and a ton in my little perfume graveyard. This is Lyrium Ghost, which is based off of Fenris from Dragon Age 2. The scent notes are cool blue musk, mint, gardenia, white wine, and fresh rain. Very fresh. I adore this. I adore this so much. It's half gone. I did wear it throughout January because I couldn't be without it. It was one of the outliers of I couldn't be without it because I had recently gotten really back into it again. And this is honestly a scent that I would recommend. And then the last one is Storyteller from the Dragon Age collection, which is based off of our beloved Varric. The scent notes are red wine, old books, cherry tobacco, saffron, bourbon, mahogany, and sandalwood. This very much smells like a man. But it's very much in like that fantasy, like sexy kind of way, because Varric was attractive. Sorry, not sorry. And if you're looking for something that's masculine but like not in like the basic way, because like we all know like with basic man like scent smell, it's all sandalwood. It's all some kind of wood and leather and pepper. I would really like men to not smell like just those things. I need more complex scents for men. And there are out there. But I need more. And to kind of finish this video out, I do want to throw out some recommendations. And they are all going to be from Siren Song Elixirs because that is just a brand I am very acquainted with. because I've bought so much from them. I mainly bought from the Dragon Age collection because there was a time in my life where Dragon Age was all I thought about. It's one of my favorite game franchises, and it was bound to happen. Other recommendations outside of Lyrium Ghost, Lion of Ferelden, and Storyteller from Baldur's Gate collection, Witch of the Wild, which was that Morgan scent, absolutely top tier, number one. That's like my number one if I'm going through like the Baldur's Gate one. And then it's Lion of Ferelden, then Lyrium Ghost, then Storyteller, and then my secret number 5, which they're retiring, but there's other versions of this scent because they have multiple for my favorite Egghead. Is they're retiring the scent Dreadwolf, but they have Finn Harel, they have Solus, they have Frilly Little Cakes, they have Soul of Ellen. There's options for you to choose from because they all kind of have the same notes, but there's a little tweak. I liked Dreadwolf because it had absinthe, like the absinthe scent in it. But the main draw of that one is really just the chocolate. And I think all of the vast majority of the other Solus ones also have that note included. But I really like Dreadwolf, and I'm sad that they're retiring it. But I do understand that like you have to make room for new scents, or they can't access the same ingredients to recreate that scent anymore. But yeah, Siren Song just has so many different perfume options in their catalog that you can choose from. And I do enjoy their work. They make all of their perfumes like to order. They try to make a fresh batch and then they ship it out once they have like the batch ready and things like that. So like you're always getting it fresh. It hasn't been sitting around. Sorry if this was a bit wordy and rambly. This is probably definitely one of my longer videos because I wanted to be able to actually tell you the scent notes of things and try to explain how they make me feel. And I wanted to kind of put more effort into this video than my other ones. I'm doing what I can because I literally am just sitting on my bedroom floor with my phone and a ring light. But I am having fun, and I think that's the most important part. And I thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.